So let's say I was finished with this video and I want to export it out to a file that I can post to YouTube or do something like that. Well, what you need to do is go up here to File and Export and then choose Media. You can also do Command or Control M. Does the same thing. So we're going to do that. And when you do that, you get the Export Settings window. There's some important things you should pay attention to. The first one is over here. You will see example of your video, so you can scroll through it. All right. Now the problem is I have a sequence in and out, and this says it will export just the sequence in and out. So it's just going to export this one little piece, which I don't want. Okay. I can go back and delete that, but I don't really need to. All I need to do is make sure that if I do see a blue line there with an in and out, then not to use this setting. I'm just going to tell it to do the entire sequence, which will be basically from the first place a video or audio files is to the last place a video file or audio is. So mine's about 24 seconds. That's about right. I think that's about right. And I can scroll through this and make sure it ends the way, yep, that's what I want. And yep, that's the front. So I know that my whole video is going to export. Now you can go over here and you would think that, oh, I should just do match sequence settings, but that's really not enough. I'm going to uncheck that. We do want every time you export, because you guys will be posting to the internet, this format H.264 is the optimum one. So don't pick QuickTime or really anything else. That's the one you need to use. That's the industry standard at the time, currently. And then what we want to do in this preset is we want to go find the preset that belongs to, that's appropriate for where we're going to post it and the size. So if I was going to post this on Vimeo, and I know my video for this example is 720p, I would pick that 720p HD. Or if it was 1080, I would pick this one. Or if I was going to post to YouTube, I would pick one of those. I'm actually going to pick the YouTube one. You can't see it because it's just under the window, the capture window. But I'm going to pick it, and you'll see now it says YouTube 720 HD, which is what we want. The next thing is this output name. It will put in there whatever the name of the sequence is. So if you want to rename it, you can do that just by clicking on it and putting whatever you want in there. You pretty much don't need to do much here. You can, but you just check on everything. The source is what you edited with. So I had 1280 by 720, 23.976. And I wouldn't worry about these other things. And it matches this. So if it matches the the output matches the source, it will be much easier for your computer to compress or render all the pieces, all the video, all the audio, if you have photos or whatever, into one file. It has less work to do. So that's always a good idea. There's some tabs down here. Pretty much you don't need to do anything. If you've set these correctly, you don't need to do anything. And then you can go ahead and export. If you just want to export one video at this one size, you can just click export and it will export the whole video. You can also use this publish tab. Now the publish tab is nice because when you use the export, it just exports it to your computer. But if you use the publish tab, you can actually publish it straight to any of these services. So Behance or Facebook or an FTP site, Twitter, Vimeo, and YouTube, which are down at the bottom, which are very handy. You have to go ahead and log into your account. You can tell it, I want you to add, if you have several channels, you can pick that. If you have a playlist you want it to be added to, you can put in the title that you want to show up on YouTube and a description. You can even set the privacy settings right there. And then when you hit export, it will automatically make the video and upload it to one of these services for you. So that's pretty cool. The other thing is you might want to have several versions of this. You might want one that's at 720, but maybe you want to make one smaller, you know, for phones or something. If you want more than one, you should, instead of clicking export, click Q. So I'm going to go ahead and click that right now and show you what I mean. So it opens Media Encoder, which is another application from Adobe. So you need to have that installed on your computer, and it's part of the Creative Cloud if you want to use the queuing. And it's just going to take a minute because I don't know that I actually have opened it on this computer. It's a new computer. So hang on. What's nice about this is that you can export it for, all kinds of different uses at one time. So it just makes things a little less labor intensive. Okay, this is taking a very long time. I apologize. I'm going to pause till it finishes. Okay, so this is the Media Encoder right here. Let me get it zoomed in here so you can see it. So right away you can see that it has the file I was working on, and it says custom. Really, I want it to be the YouTube, so I'm going to select that, and that's what I want. But what if I want a different version? Maybe I want to save it also for Vimeo. So I can do that by right-clicking on it and clicking duplicate. And so it makes another one. And then on that second one, I can go down and pick the Vimeo one. So now I have two. I could also change. Maybe I do want a QuickTime movie. I could do that. Maybe it's something I'm not going to be posted on the internet. I need it for a presentation or something. I can pick one of these. I can also go in and change the size of it if I wanted to. So I would click on one of these, and I could say, well, I don't really want it 720, so that's where you could go in and change things. There's all kinds of things you could do. So I'm going to say okay on that. And so I can make as many of these as I want. When I finally decide, okay, that's the ones I want, I just select them all and press this little Start Queue button. It's a little green triangle, sort of like a play triangle, and it will go and render and export all three of those videos for me. So I don't have to do it one at a time. I just set it up once and it does it. And that is basically how to export your videos.